Merriam-Webster's dictionary defines a coup d'etat as a sudden, decisive exercise of force in politics, especially the violent overthrow or alteration of an existing government by a small group. Modern parlance has created alternative meanings for the word, and it is the one that seems to fit, despite most coups being quick and this one taking years. When Barack Obama won with over 69 million votes, a majority of the House, and a supermajority in the Senate, how could Republicans ever hope to compete again? The first answer comes with Project Redmap, short for Redistricting Majority Project. The Republican State Leadership Committee sought to strategically flip state legislature seats in 2010. They targeted 107 state legislative races in swing states like Wisconsin, Michigan, Ohio, Florida, and Pennsylvania. This doesn't sound on its face to be a bad thing. Any political party is going to want to utilize tactics to get out the vote and win more seats on election day. However, the nefarious nature of the plan was not that they just wanted to flip the seats. They wanted to do it in a year where redistricting would take place shortly thereafter, since the census was being tallied. This way, they could gerrymander state and congressional districts in such an extreme level that they could make it impossible for the Democrats to compete in these states. To be clear, each side has gerrymandered. There are some bizarre lines that have been drawn. Here is an example. But the goal here was to seize control of the map and then draw districts in such a way that the balance of power was offset by ridiculous degrees. According to their own website, they spent millions over several states, specifically to flip state legislatures and draw the maps accordingly. And the result? Despite Barack Obama winning re-election in 2012, and despite there being 1.4 million less votes for the GOP overall in congressional races, the GOP retained a 33-seat lead in the House of Representatives. Look at Pennsylvania. Despite Barack Obama winning a majority of the votes in the states, despite Democrats getting more votes in the states than Republicans, the GOP managed to win 13 out of 18 seats in the House of Representatives. Ohio wasn't much different, with 16 House seats. Despite Obama winning a majority of the popular vote in Ohio, only 4 House seats went to the Democrats. This isn't to say that this portion of the GOP coup has not had some roadblocks. The Pennsylvania Supreme Court ruled in 2018 that the maps drawn 7 years prior clearly, plainly, and palpably violated the state constitution. This forced a judicial redraw of the map. Democrats got 2.7 million votes compared to 2.2 million for the Republicans in the state of Pennsylvania in 2018. But this time the districts were split evenly, 9 for the Democrats and 9 for the Republicans. The Democrats should have won 1 more seat, but clearly 9-9 is a much closer representation of the will of the people than 5-13 was. Ohio, on the other hand, maintained its congressional districts, and despite Democrats winning a clear majority of the votes in the state of Ohio, the GOP maintained a 12-4 lead in seats controlled by Republicans in the House of Representatives. In the 2018 midterms, it took Democrats getting almost 10 million more votes than the Republicans nationwide in House of Representative elections in order to gain 49 seats and win back the House. Remember, the GOP maintained a 33-seat lead after the 2012 elections, despite getting 1.4 million less votes than the Democrats. It's clear that the GOP understands that it can't win the battle of ideas in the long term. This series of videos will describe the tactics being used so that they can rule as a minority party if we let them. Remember, if you liked this video, please subscribe to the channel, like the video, and support the podcast via the Patreon link below.